Hi guys, we've got an exclusive with the Mirror today. They say that home buyers are to be thrown a stamp duty lifeline in the budget. The budget is on the 3rd of March this year, and that's a really, really critical date for us. There's also another date that you need to have in your diary, which is the 22nd of February, which is the roadmap of coming out of COVID as well. They're not expected to go into really deep detail about stamp duty within that. The 3rd of March is the key date for that. So we're looking at this headline, which is a bit of a surprise actually for me today. But and I'm with Helen Chorley. We're going to quickly revisit the main points of the MP stamp duty debate, which happened last week. So let me just get into that.
The holiday has had on the market, but we do have strong indicators to suggest that it has indeed led to something of a boom. HMRC published its most recent data on monthly property transactions on the 21st of January, and the headline statistic from those was that the provisionally seasonally adjusted estimate of UK residential transactions in December 2020 was 129,400, nearly 32% higher than that time last year. The Financial Times also reported on the 4th of December, and I quote, that the UK housing boom continued to bolster the construction sector in November, despite the autumn's double-dip economic downturn, with builders reporting the fastest expansion of orders in more than 6 years. Now, of course, not all of this will solely come down to the tax holiday, but an educated guess would certainly indicate that this has helped contribute at least to confidence in the market. However, this has had a number of consequences and led to a situation where many, like those petitioners, could face out on losing on this holiday and face a hefty tax bill that they cannot afford at the end because their sales will not complete by the 31st of March. Indeed, Mr. Steele, who started this petition, tells me that he is looking at a £12,000 liability to stamp duty if this sale does not complete. This is unaffordable for him, and the sale will ultimately fall through if it is not completed. Now, the assertion has been supported by many lenders, solicitors and estate agents who have been in touch with me, and I'm sure many colleagues as well, since we announced that this debate was taking place. That due to the unprecedented demand on their services to complete transactions by the 31st of March deadline, they are unable to keep up with demand, keep up with the pressure, and will ultimately mean that many will miss out.
Yeah, I mean, for me, that just kind of summed the whole kind of MP debate up. I mean, what do you think? Was there any additional takeouts that we need to mention?
Yeah, he sets it out very clearly, and he sets it out kind of what the government's main options are. So one, just extending the date. It's supposed to be 31st of March, just extend it 6 months. He said, 2, allow the people, which is what the Mirror have come up with today, allow the people that are in the process, so started, to allow them to kind of continue and not, let those transactions fall out of bed. 3, he said, phase and taper out. So it could be kind of, rather than being a strict deadline, kind of phased out over a number of months. And 4thly, he mentioned kind of restructuring the whole way that stamp duty is applied, because it's paid by the buyer at the moment. There's talk about restructuring that for the sellers, but that's obviously a much, much bigger debate and unlikely to be talked about kind of anytime soon.
There were some interesting other discussions that happened. I mean, why is this so important for everyone? And for example, there's a lot of transactions getting stuck within the solicitor, the conveyancing aspect. There's a lot of on the mortgagee side as well, like getting your mortgage through. It took me six months to get my mortgage through. So wow. I almost wasn't going to be able to do the transaction, even though I started right at the beginning. And everything's taking a hell of a lot longer than it should be. So what was really interesting is going back to what he was saying about fairness. Those people that have, thought, okay, there's no stamp duty, right, I will put my home on the market and I will sell it and I will move home. And you would expect that there is enough time to do that. But because of all the issues that have been happening, I don't think it is fair that people get to that deadline and because of all of those issues, are not able to complete. So an extension must be on the cards. I mean, Rishi Sunak said back in November, there is no extension at all for the stamp holiday. He will not entertain it. But I think now, I mean, there's obviously this exclusive Mirror headline that they're getting the information from somewhere, but you know, I would think that that is likely to happen now on the in the stamp duty update.
Pressure. Now they've had this petition that 138,000 people signed. You know, it's really at the forefront of people's mind. And quite frankly, as you say, the conveyancers, the lenders, the councils doing the searches have really been overwhelmed. There's something like 500,000 transactions gone through or in the process of going through kind of since they announced it. Well, there's only between 900 and 1 million go through in a normal year. And he said it on the video, didn't he?
It's 610,000 waiting.
Yeah, and 129,000 in December, which is 32% up year on year. So the conveyancers must be doing great business right now, but they must be working all the hours that God sends. And
there's other kind of micro issues as well. So Diane Abbott in London, she was talking about the fact that in Hackney they'd actually been hacked at the centre, at their council offices. So searches and things like that were almost impossible. You know, the timelines were so long that, you know, that has held and hampered processes in Hackney for a lot of residents. So
yeah, that would feel really unfair if that was you.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, as you know, like you've been buying your own, you're dependent on other people in that chain. So you can do your thing right. You can get all your ducks in order. You can have the most efficient, you know, solicitors, conveyancer in the world. But if the rest of the chain isn't like that, then you're beholden to other people. And I think that's where, you know, people are beginning to kind of get nervous about whether they can actually meet that deadline.
Yeah, I think it's also, you know, people are saying, oh, why are you extending the stamp duty holiday when, you know, the people that can actually afford to purchase are just making money off it. But I think that's a little bit unfair, you know, because a lot of people are not really down in the detail and they're not understanding, especially for first-time buyers and those under 500k. You know, I think it'd be very sad that, you know, this cliff edge is going to happen, because let me tell you, it will have a massive impact on everyone, you know, on the economy. It's not just for house buyers. The ripple will be felt in lots and lots of places. So house moving solicitors, you know, it's, you know, it has this cumulative effect on the whole industry. Well, thank you ever so much, Helen. It's been brilliant again jumping on with you. You know, I really hope that this headline is true, and I do hope that they do throw stamp duty people a bit of a lifeline in the budget. So we're certainly going to be here on the 22nd when Boris does his roadmap, and on the 3rd as well, giving our own opinions on what's happening and what changes they're going to be making. So we're looking forward to that, and we'll see you then.